Hi guys, good morning. It's been a minute. Yeah, I just changed around the whole. Well, not change around, but I just moved myself. You guys are accustomed to this video. I just rotated. So yeah. Today, today is the 9th of December. I know it's been a while. I've followed down time. Oh yeah, printed out this nice. Show you what you see. Now we hope. Yeah. Trade the chats. The trade where you think gonna happen. Um, now it's been a minute or two since the last video. Yeah, I know you guys new cut. I'm on leave. I'm home. I'm planning to do live streaming probably Mondays and Tuesdays when I have time. Um, small man due date is actually increased up. So before we get into all that, the point of today's video, now we are minute and I don't know what we're talking about. Today's video is concerning about not just updates but relatively I made a mistake. So you guys know how they will fancy reports on the line here, right? And in the report, it had AUD USD, which was the safe haven. Now, the settings I had on it placed on AUD USD was the wrong one. That is my fault. The account is not blown. It was supposed to be 50, meaning 50 grid spacing, and $20 TP, and it was 20 I said. Now it hits profit about 2 3 times. I went into a massive drawdown, and then ultimately we were stopped out. Now it's not like the Bitcoin where it's highly profitable, meaning you can make 100% in like 3 weeks, a month. Where that is very volatile, it is low volatility with consistent profit. So that happened. So what I did when that happened was I looked at the remaining funds we had. We had, if you all remember correctly, we had 5 accounts: Bitcoin, AUD, USD CAD, AUD CAD, and Euro USD. $282 was blown from the account. Now the Bitcoin already blown. We already accounted for that. We could not do nothing about that. We know it was going to come. We just didn't know when. So we just safeguarded ourselves by making our withdrawal out of it. And then we started USD CAD and AUD CAD with that money. So what I did was take the rest of funds from USD CAD, AUD CAD, and Euro USD and place it back in Euro USD. It is basically the same amount that was blown. So it's really the total equity is down by half right now. Yeah. My fault. My fault. When plenty going on, there's shit happen. I'll place it back to the shareholder if anybody watching. Well, it's me and Moz, but I'll talk to you when I place now. Now see now we only have USD. I did some after it blown. I took a day. I really stepped back, and then I thought about what's the next step forward. Like, yeah, we know it's not gonna be sunshine and rainbows. It's $1 million. We know it's gonna be trials and tribulations. This is part of the trials. Yes, yes. The trial was really to get it even started and think about ways to make it happen. So, seeing that now we are making it happen. I was studying the fastest way, and then it hit me. Why I trying to do the fastest way when I should just be consistent, be profitable, think like a trader. I'm a trader. I need to stop thinking like a gambler and think like a trader. Now there's a fine line, gambling and trading. There's a fine line. Gambling is you're hoping, and basically trading is you don't hope. You trade the market. Again, with this trade what you see and what you hope. So we can't gamble. We can't. You see those guys making. Mind you, there's guys who make substantial money, but the guys who turn in $100 into $1 million in a week, a month, the guys who taking $10 to 100 in 2 days, as overall averaging, that is not proper risk management. One trade could blow the account. It is not a trader's mindset. Now, prop firms do give you that mindset. Yeah, this is so much you can risk a day to make a profit target. Don't go risking the whole account You have these kind of limitations, don't over leverage, all those stuff. So that was prop firm does. But when you think as a trader, you understand that, why would I risk 50% of my balance to make 100%, which is 1 to 2, when I could risk 1%, make 2, and be comfortable? Now, you could do that if you have a balance, a good balance. This is why these guys over risk. They got nothing to lose. So it's basically gambling, placing all your money on one trade. That's gambling. So I took a step back and I think to myself what to do. Here's what I came up with, right? So I didn't really plan for this video, so I stay with me. Right. That. Right. Transition. And right. So the S&P 500, the main goal that I had was to beat the S&P 500. Now, year to date, the S&P 500 did 16%. It's December. See, there was a drop. Whatever. Now, the S&P 500 don't generally win. Yes, and then we go images. Right. So let's get this here. The S&P 500 don't generally win. There are minuses. There are minuses, right? So seeing this and understanding this, we can see here the S&P 500 made 815% profit. What or how could I match that? Now this is over the period of 1996. Like 4 plus 25. It's almost 30 years, right? Well, 29 years, right? 29 years, it made 815%. To match that, I'll have to go at this rate. Average 10%. The most, 3 years, it did 40 to 50%. It never made over 50% in 1 year. Now, this is where investing comes in. This is where I consider investing, right? Instead of looking to risk X amount of money to make 10%, 20% a month, look at it yearly. Now, yes, we want to get the returns monthly, but we can make a program for that monthly specifically. What I intend to do is basically beat the S&P 500. If I can beat it within 5 years, I am comfortable in my system. I could probably take it to Wall Street, take it wherever. Now, these returns are not impossible. Mind you, these returns are not impossible. Now, let me bring you guys to exhibits. Alright, how to. Right. Stay with me now. Right, exhibit E. Now, this is the. After I fixed my mistake, I did some backtesting and I tried to understand where I went wrong with the setup for the USD when it crashed. And then I realized it was the grid space and these simple things. And as you build that bot, it's going to apply itself with the inputs you put in it. Totally my fault. After I did the testing and retesting, I got this, right? Firstly, I got this. Now, how to read this is basically you're seeing percentage, but you're going to do it in dollars. With a fixed risk, it made $8,000, $8,500 with a 5K balance. When I turned it on for growth, this is what happened. 1,000%. Now, you're probably saying over what period? From 2020 till now. Now we know there are plenty of things in the market that cause markets to move a lot. USD is a pair that is directly tied to commodities, gold, silver, oil, and it's paired to the US dollar, which is the most moving currency. If you look at the monthly performance, you probably watching it and seeing a bunch of numbers. It's percentage. Check on the side is the percentage it made. Now I just showed you guys a picture, an image that showed the S&P 500 never made over 50%. I have it making over 50% in two instances, 2 years. 2022 it did 64. Why? Why, you may ask? COVID. So, seeing how the market moves more, we have created the bot. The lion is really making money on movement, regardless of the move. It could be up, it could be down. The move, once the move is happening, the bot will make money. How it makes money? Because the simple philosophy: what goes up must come down. What comes down must come up. So, and I don't need it to come up fully, just a small mini reversion. So when you look at these figures, for instance, March April was tariff. This is the earliest point, right? The latest thing was tariff wars. It made 9%. May it rebounded. Markets rebounded. Made 5%. We go further back. 2023, January, February, Ukraine Russia war. June, same thing. Go further back, the end of COVID. This was the second lapse of COVID when it's dying down. Across the board, the whole period was profitable. 2020, when COVID hit in 2020 February, March, lots of money. Markets crashed, rebounded, going down again, came back up. The bot made money. Now, 5 years it made 1,067%. The S&P 500, if we do the last 5 years, only made 87%. During that same period, we saw, see it here. So we're gonna go back 2020 September, and then we have January, February, March, and the end of March. It dipped, then rebounded, dipped, rebound. So over the years, what I plan to do is reshape my mindset. We're not gonna look for extreme profitability. We're gonna do consistent growth over time. It's the same thing I was working on the same time. It's just I really got caught up with the quick money, fast profits. It's this thing. I forget the abbreviation. Oh, FOMO, fear of missing out. You know, you see the opportunity, and then when it passes, you're like, wait, can't let the next one slip by. Hey, if you're gonna do like that, you're basically a gambler. You need to change your mindset. So I am changing my mindset. So now, nothing really physically has changed. Mentally, there's a shift in thinking. So the whole like put money on Bitcoin, like bot run, that don't make no sense. Too much risk. You know, you have to manage your risk, right? You're looking at the an age that what the same salary your grandparents was working on, they could have buy a house, mine two families. Now you can barely make ends meet. You can't even buy a house. You go to the bank and the amount you're making is not even half the amount you need to make to be able to qualify to buy a basic house. So right now taking risk is crazy unless you already came from money. Now me and my team, we don't have that kind of cash. So we need to stop thinking like, yo, it's just small money. No, every dollar counts, right? So looking for consistent profitability, low drawdown, which is equal to the least amount of risk that can make the most amount of profit over time. Now the period I'm testing now is COVID, and COVID, Trump administration change, tariff, all these Ukraine Russia war, all these stuff, right? So it's fairly good periods to test on. The markets move a lot and we build a moving bot. I don't want to fit the bot around the data, so I use round numbers for settings. So like grid spacing 25, 10, 5, um, 50, 100. Don't use figures like 35, like 26. What you're fixing to the data. The next thing is like TP, $5, $10, 20. Why would I put $15 for a TP? That is crazy, right? So wrong figures. Um, so we, well, me specifically, have come up with two two methods after speaking with ChatGPT and DeepSeek. I use those two AIs. You guys probably see I use those two AIs a lot, right? Um, I came up with a portfolio plan. Now, a portfolio is spreading risk, blah 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 blah. We came up with a portfolio already, but we're just reshaping it. You see, if you spread the money, yes, you'll spread the risk, but you'll spread the profits. And if you know something is very much safe, why not just go all in? But why don't you have two safety nets? So what I plan to do is use Euro USD, which is a fast moving pair, you know, and pay it with AUD USD, and these two will work hand in hand. So basically, set up 70-30%, 70% being Euro USD, 30% being AUD USD. The profits fortnightly from the Euro USD, withdraw, reinvest, diverge portion of the money to AUD USD. Now, how this gonna work is really for the guys in the mutual fund and myself, and when I put back the money on the account. Um, how it will work is, let's say I have $100. I'll take $70 and put it on Euro USD. Take $30 and pay it on AUD USD. Say within 2 weeks I make 1% on Euro USD. Alright, so 1%. I have $7. What am I gonna do with that $7? Here what I'm gonna do. See, there are two options. I withdraw the whole thing or I reinvest. Now I'm not gonna reinvest the entire thing into Euro USD. I'll put, let's say, mm, to split it could be kind of hard on figures, but to make it simple, $5 I'll place back into USD and then $2 into EUD USD. The EUD USD, you think of it like a stock. You're placing money in there to buy a stock and leave long term. I did some more research. The holding period of our average stock now is less than 4 years. But if you had hold Bitcoin for more than 3 years, you would have more than made it to 100%. That's crazy stats, right? Because everybody is on this motion that you need to make money now. The time is running out. Hell, if millionaires, when they place money in the bank to make money when they buy stock, they don't touch that till next 10 years. A generation passes and then they touch that. We don't have the luxury. Time is running out, yes, but we need to understand the concept of delayed gratification. You just need to understand that patience is a very thin thing in this generation now and society as a whole of recent, because we come off this mindset that psychologically the world is programming us to seek this immediate gratification, immediate approval. Like you need it now. Like like you need a day off now. You need pay now. It's subliminally pasted into our minds, and you just need to break them shackles. Them because the forefathers they never used to talk about that. You think about Lincoln, you think about Benjamin Franklin, you think about Thomas Edison. Those guys they work until they got it. They didn't say I have to get it now. So it's a shift in mindset. It's not changing my personality or anything. It's just a shift in mindset. So that's really it. It's not a. This is not an update video. This is more me blagging. And saying I made a mistake on my part. You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, right, guys? So that is just the world we live in. So yeah, I'm on leave for the next 4 months. So I might live stream. My friends say to talk about it more. It'll be easier to live stream, so I might think about it. I think I said that in the last video. I'm not too sure. Um, Besides that, yeah, don't mind on top there. They needs to clean. Well, not clean, organize, but yeah. Besides that, new updates. So, see, you're not. I'm gonna focus on two pairs, two safe pairs, because we want to minimize risk. I'm gonna work on the tire, which is another grid system, but instead of doing a overall martingale basket TP, it works on basically each level. So you think of it like those bots you find on brokers, not brokers, wallets, exchanges, right? That's the word. Exchanges, the Binance, Grid bots, OKX or ONX, whatever they have one. Bybit have. They do it on crypto pairs because it's such fast moving. I could also build one just like that and make it back tested to make it safe. That's the thing. I could back test it to make it as safe as I could. Um. So yeah, that's it. Well, it's not really a project we have to start. I already have the program there. You need to figure out a way to test it. Um, the best way to test it is just put on you take on all the inputs, just like crunching numbers, but that would take like days, probably like a week to fully test out, let's say Bitcoin or something like that. But it's all a work in progress. After that, I really want to diversify the portfolio and get some like technical analysis, but that don't make sense because it's going against my philosophy of don't trade what you're hoping for, trade what you see. Like, why do I need to listen to some guru telling me how to break a structure and a head and shoulder? You, you guys look at the BTC market right now. Tell me if you see any kind of ICC system, SME system, any kind of stuff like that. It's crazy because Bitcoin Sunday night, Bitcoin literally dumped 2000 and then pumped 6. The 2000 it dumped, it licked out, I think it was like 40 million long positions that was over leveraged. Then when it pumped, it cleaned out about 70 million short positions. That is insane. It's just the big players. That's what they could do on the crypto market. That's only forex. It's different, but Trump, he could call a new strike now. USD goes up, everything has falls. So it's really trading news. So if you was to build a bot, you just build a news bot. Go on. If if a pair moves more than 100 pips, not 100 pips, like 50 pips within a minute or five, take a buy, take a sell, that kind of vibes. But yeah, so that's basically it there for me. I'm just gonna work on the Lion and Tiger. The diversify the portfolio is no problem if I get a partner, but again, I already have a working system that can possibly, if not set in stone, when I do it, we'll play back these videos, we'll look back at good old times when the hairline was receded. Probably when I make that money, I'll go to Turkey and fix it. Yeah, we'll look back, so yeah, I already have a working system that possibly could be the S&P 500. If it make 1,000%, right? Stay with me now. If it made 1,000% in the last 5 years, if initially I had placed $1,000, it made 1,000 of that. At a zero, that's how much? 1,000% is 10x. So it'll just have 10x, right? But thinking about it, to 10x an account over 5 years, it could be 100. 100 wouldn't look, like an accomplishment. Like you put, all right, add an X zero to 100. Anybody could do that. Let me say they put in 10,000 and you put in 100,000. You put in a mil and you 10x a mil. Then they'll start talking about you. Then they'll start, yeah, they'll start. That's the thing. You need to treat it the same way. Treat the same 100 like $1 million. Risk it the same way. Risk 1%. Because if you think about a millionaire, you're not gonna risk a million to make what, $20? No. Who does that? Your risk needs to be equally compensated to the amount. So if you're gonna risk, you risk consistent. Same thing profit try to teach. 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, risk 1% of your account per trade. That kind of way. You carry across that over into a millionaire mindset. You'll make a lot of money because 1% of $100 is a dollar, but 1% of a mil is what, 10K? Come on. So yeah, guys, that was me. I'm a Blab Session. If I don't make any videos, I might make more videos. Merry Christmas in advance. Happy New Year. Guys, see, I look a little rough. I'll go for a trim tomorrow. Probably by next video, you'll see a new me. Gonna mark up this nice and neat. I'm on leave. More time to myself, you would think. I gotta buy a motor vehicle, so you know, old P1 and P2 can't cut it when you got small man around. So I had to get a vehicle. So I'll be working on that. So I'd love to stream every day and you know market the bot and all those stuff, but can't. So we work for money. As soon as I finish buy the car, more money to put in the bot. Start to pump cash, pump. Yeah. So we're looking at well, I personally looking at depositing $100 every month, but you see, thing we need to make the amount of cash for the VPS also, which is $25. So that's why the Bitcoin was kind of helping because it making all this returns of a little bit of money. So why not let it pay for the VPS one time? But we had a touchback reality, and if I'm making like 1% every 2 weeks, 1% to get $25 gotta be like what 2,500 no 25,000 no say no 2,500 yeah my bad so just need to amount the amount easier said than done right but we'll get there until then keep pushing P keep keep pushing what you gonna do keep chopping each till the fall right so let's grow the balance so I'm gonna do the split I'm gonna as I say 70-30 as soon as I make back the funds move across all the finances so that diversifying yet is good when you have more money so until then yeah so guys thanks for watching thanks for viewing thanks for listening um like follow share comment what you guys think I don't know about this whole YouTube thing but this is just my archive videos I'm out guys